Welcome to our tutorial on PrimeNet's employee portal. Your supervisor should have given you a URL to log in with. Once you paste this in, it should bring up the employee portal screen for you to log in. You'll enter your credentials that you were given. You may have two-step credential where you enter two numbers rather than just one. If that's the case, after the green check mark, you enter your second set of numbers and then press the check mark, and it brings you up to your page here. So here we have messages that may or may not change from time to time, depending on your administrator. We can see the name of the employee here. We have a start button. We have an end button for clocking out. Lunch leave, if I'm leaving for lunch. Lunch return, if I'm returning from lunch. And the same with break and end break. Start break, end break, and switch would be to switch departments. I can tell that I have missing punches in my time card. And if I want to see where that's at, I can just click on the You Have Missing Punches, and it'll bring it up. And I can see this day here where there's the letter M. I have an in punch at 7 a.m., but I have nothing under my timeout. So I would give this information to my supervisor so they can correct that for me. Over to the right, I can see my status. I'm clocked in as of yesterday at 7 a.m., which explains my missing punch. And these options may or may not be available to you depending on the company structure and whether or not they're in use. View schedule, if you have that available to you, you can click on view schedule and see what your schedule is. PTO bank balance, you may or may not have different types in here. They could have different names, but these are your accrued amounts from any type of benefit balances that your company may offer. Next is the PTO request. I bring this up and I can see what I've already requested, what's been approved, what's been denied, any notes that come across when they're approved or denied. While it's pending, I can come in here and make changes to it. And then we'll change the year. But I can see here, even though I only want 1 hour, I've got 2 negative hours, so I may have to choose a different bank. There we go, I've got 30 hours remaining here. I can save that. To request time off, click Add PTO Request. I need a start date. And if it's just a single day, I'll choose that. It automatically inserts it here. But if I was going from the 16th to the 19th, I would then choose the 19th. That way I don't have to do 4 different entries of the same number of hours. Number of hours per day is 8. A note to your supervisor. Choose your bank. We've got 30 hours still there, so that's good. At that point, I can generate requests. Now that adds those 4 entries right down here for me. I can edit one if maybe I only need 7 hours for this day. I could come in and change that to 7 and save that, and that looks good. If I needed to put another type in there, I could come back up and choose the date. And maybe we'll use the 22nd, just a single day. Both dates are the same, 8 hours. And I'll use comp time on this one. And that looks good. I generate It shows up here. When I'm finished my requests, I just click Confirm Requests. Data saved successfully. I click OK, and those requests are going to go to my supervisor. I can still edit or delete one of these if I needed to prior to it being approved or denied. We'll go ahead and close here. Next is the View Timesheets. So when I click on View Timesheets, it's going to bring up a summary of what I've worked so far. In, out. The punch type E tells me that this has been edited, and it's basically because I added this punch in. A C would mean closed, and that comes directly from clocking in and out with no edits from a supervisor. AB would be absent. LC would be a closed lunch punch. Different things like that. PP would be personal paid. So I can see what's here. I can see the total for the pay period here. And if I click on week 1, I can see what I worked in week 1. If I'm on a bi-weekly pay period, which this person is not, but bi-weekly or semi-monthly, I may have a week 2 here and or a week 3 here. And I could click on each of those and it would show me the hours worked in those weeks. I can click Print Timesheet if I want to see all the specifics and detail of my time card here. That looks good here. If I needed to print that out, I can click the print icon. If I wanted to save this to my computer, I could choose Acrobat PDF, and I'd click the export button. You'll either be prompted where to save it, or it'll save to your defaulted browser location. If I want to approve my time card for last pay period, I can click the pay period down, and you'll note you can go through and see any pay period you need in here. They're not taken away from you as soon as they're done. I'm going to go to last pay period. Again, I can see my summary of hours. Total paid is 25, worked is 17, not worked is 8. And the category for that not worked would be personal, 8 hours. And then my total again down here for the week. If I'm ready to approve this, I can click Approve. And I have to agree to the terms and conditions, my attestation statement. And I click Accept. Mine's not ready to approve because I just put some of these times in. But once you click Accept, your time card will be approved, and your supervisor will be able to see that you have approved your time card. Once the time card has been approved, no further edits or modifications can be done to your time card unless the approval is reverted, in which case you would have to come back in and reapprove after verifying the changes. Clocking in, click the Start button. If your company wants you to select different departments for clocking in, this will appear, as will these. If you do not have to change departments, this won't appear, and when I click Start, it would have punched me in at that time. I'm going to click OK. If your company requires notes, the note box will pop up. If it does not, this box will not pop up. You can add a note. And then you can click OK. If you don't have a note to add on this particular punch, you can just click No Note, and it will do the same thing, punch accepted, the date, and the time. I can see my status is updated to the date and time that I just punched. To clock out, it's the same thing. Click End. We don't need to change a department for clocking out, so that's not even an option. We could add a note if we wanted, or select No Note. And that would clock us out. Same with the lunch leave, lunch return, start break and end break. Lunch leave, and that's gone through. Sorry, it's not gone through duplicate punch. I've got the system set up so that it's not going to let two punches be put in within the same minute of time. Or it could be 2 minutes, it could be 5 minutes, depending on the company. But it will let you know here, duplicate punch, please try again later. And there we go. Enough time has passed, and it's gone in. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please ask your supervisor.